It's a wonderful day and welcome to Trisolace. Today we are restocking. So we have a new system that we want to look at and then we are restocking. So this was built during the weekend and we already have occupants in there. We already have some snails in there already. But we are going to restock one other facility here. So everything that we do at Trisolace, we basically use it as a form of research. We don't do the normal microscope research, but we do trial and error. That is basically what we have at our disposal. So we are trying to build a normal microscope lab thing, that we can use to diagnose diseases and other things like that. So basically this was built during the weekend, and what you see around it is the barrier. So we do a barrier which is filled with grease or dirty oil, which is gotten free. So we are recycling everything that we do. This is another facility here, one other base, and it is basically warded off from this one as well. So it also has its own boundary, which will keep it away from ants. So basically pests and diseases are like 100% of whatever goes wrong with snail farming. So we at Trisolace are trying to make sure that we do away with all those pests and diseases that we are talking about. So we'll be taking you through pest control, disease control, and every other thing. So we have noticed that if the snails are pested or worried by insects like ants, centipedes and millipede, they tend to not grow very well, and that will affect our snail business. So we do not want that. That's why we are trying to ward away pests and diseases, do away with pests. So number one pest is ants, whether it be black ants or red ants. They are the number one pest control. So here we have our trusty gadgets. We have a plastic spoon, which is used for picking up eggs, scooping fecal matter, that is snail fecal matter. And then we have, it is also used for scooping feed. So our feed is measured every day. So every plate, per every cubicle of plate, we put in about 2 spoons or 2 ladles of these, basically. And we have our trusty tape measure. We have our trusty tape measure, which is used. It's a 3-meter tape measure, so we can use it to measure virtually everything here, and that is what we use. So per every square meter, we put in some 50. Every square meter, that is a meter by meter, is supposed to take 50 snails. But because we are a research facility, we are looking at not having mitigation measures like microscope to detect whatever diseases that kill them, science lab to know what chemicals are in our feed and all that. We are playing it very safe, and we are only doing 30 snails per square meter. So that is what we are doing. So we measure everything accurately before we start. And this is our mist sprayer. So we use this to spray. So it goes like that, and you use it to spray mist, fine mist on the snails. That is better than using your hand to, pour water on them. That increases the possibility of you wetting the soil more than usual. So that is our facility. We have snails everywhere, and that is a typical feeding trough. So I'll also explain the feeding trough very soon. But before that, let's also look at our trusty scale. This is what we use to measure the scale. So as per every research facility or as per every farmer, you need to know the metrics. You need to know the metrics of your snails every time. So if you tell me in this particular pen, what is the average weight of every snail? It is 63 grams. So they are about 63 grams. And we have here, they are 70 grams. And this is about 80 grams. And we have labeled our boxes, so we can properly keep track of every other snail in the group. So we know what to quarantine, what to change, what to do when there's a new outbreak of disease or something like that. No, these are biological creatures, so we cannot take away diseases and pest control. So this is our boundary. We do that to ward off insects. And once you do that, you have eliminated about 80% of all snail troubles. And the next one is feeding of snails. We are also going to look at that. So this is an open roof system that we did, where we are only warding the rains off with this black polythene bag, and then we're also warding a bit of sun off that. And what this gives us is that it increases the temperature in the pen, which helps us a lot, because most people are now having snails that are estivating. So estivating is when snails sense a change in the weather conditions and want to also save water or fluid, and then they weave a calcareous. It is a calcareous thing around their body, which increases or decreases the rate at which they lose moisture, and they can be in that stage for almost 2 months. So let's look at if we can see a snail that is estivating, and then we will talk about that. Okay, so this is a typical estivating snail. You can see that it is estivating. So it has started weaving that whitish thing around its face. It means that it will go into a deep sleep very soon. And that is what we're trying to prevent. So if we increase the temperature in the pen, we are bound to reduce that. And this one is also going into estivation. You can see clearly from the whole onset. Yes, and this one is not going into estivation. So basically, these are a little bit of our pens, our snail inhabitants in there. And then that is our feeding trough. So with the feeding trough, what we are going to do is that we're going to divide it. One side is for water, and the two sides are for feed. So one side for water, the two sides are for feed. That is what we're going to do currently. So let's go into the pen that we are going to restock. So we have explained our trusty gadget here, which is the measuring scale or the pocket scale, used for measuring jewelry and all that, but we use it also to measure snails. So after changing feed every now and then, you need to monitor their weight and see if they are gaining weight. It means that they are eating. If they are not, then it means they are not eating. So basically it's simple like that. So we weigh them, and this is our mist blower that we use to produce fine mist. So we're going into our facility. So these are the boxes that people buy. So individuals will buy some of these boxes, and some will also buy them to do as their hobby, So this is a typical example of it, and it's made of galvanized metal, so it doesn't rust. That is what we have here. So all these are for sale. People come and they buy. We are entering into another facility, which here is basically for keeping very young ones. This is our incubation system that we use to incubate and keep young ones. So this is a normal feed trout. So you can see we are going to feed them. We have a lot of the feed trouts, but now we are going to change the system. So this side is going to be feed, that side is going to be feed, and this side is going to be water. So that is what we are going to do currently, and then we will take care of the snails excellently. So that is our feeding trout. We specifically bought these because it reduces the number of plates that you put in every pen and increases the snails chance of spreading out and making new friends. And so this is our farm hand, our trusty farm hand. We will ask her name. So what's your name, madam?
Elizabeth Miller.
Elizabeth Miller. Yeah. Oh, okay. What area are we now? The area we are in now here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a snail farm.
Okay. So what are you doing now?
Yeah, I'm trying to wake them up because
Okay.
they are asleep.
Okay. So what we did was that we saw that most of the snails were going into estivation. What I spoke earlier, that they will go into deep sleep. So what she's doing is that she's introducing mist, to them, to tell them that no, we are not going into estivation. And after that, we are going to ward off that area, make it fill it with polythene so that it increases the temperature in the boxes. So you can see we have labeled all our boxes. So the other ones outside here are 14 to I think 21, and then these are up to, so this is the double decker that we have as well, that we sell. So let's look at how our soil and everything is made. So the soil texture, this is a normal black soil or topsoil that we use. When you press it, it doesn't have to leave a residue on your hand or a lot of moisture, but it needs to be cold or cool, basically. So she's introducing this to let the snails wake up, and we have our bigger mist blower that does the job. So you can either use your rainwater or well water, which is basically, yes, very good for that. Yes. So she's introducing so that's why we changed these. We saw that the soil in there was too dry for their liking, and then we started changing. And every cubicle we have how many snails? Yeah. Every cubicle, how many snails? 30. So we are doing 30 per cubicle, and that is because we want to take very good care of them. So that is Elizabeth, our trusty farmhand. And these are our incubation pots. So you see we have ants. We've sprayed all over here so that it gets rid of ants and other diseases as well, and other pests like centipedes and millipedes. So everyone has their own feeding trough. You can see they all have their own feeding trough, and these ones belong to them as well. So every now and then you have a death, or you have some deaths, casualties. So we do quarantine measures with our trusty polythene bags, where we keep the dead ones in there, because currently we do not know what kills a lot of them. Aside food poisoning, which we know, we don't really know a lot of other things that kill them. So basically, that is our snail pen. So let's look down here. The bigger ones have a boundary, which is basically filled with dirty oil, which is not bought. We just got it for free from all the fitting and mechanic shops. And this actually prevents insects from climbing up the legs, centipedes, millipedes, all the other cockroaches and all that. They steal eggs, and some also kill snails, especially centipedes. So let's zoom in to our trusty occupants. So now that we've introduced the mist to them, it will be very difficult for them to go into sleep again. And then we will increase the temperature here by warding off this side. So we're going to put polythene on that side, and that will keep them at bay. Let's look at feed. Part of why snails go into estivation is the feed as well. So we have our trusty scale here for measuring our feed, and then we have our feed samples here, and this is a sample of our feed. Very rich and made from grains. We have grains, and we have proteins, from soya beans, calcium, all that. And then we use our trusty bags to neatly put them in. These are our feeding troughs that we use, and this is our mist blower. So we have quite a few of them and this is our feed. So we have our feed straight here. Yeah. And then we have our protein source here. So we mix them up regularly and then put them here, weigh them up, and then we weigh them in 2 kilos per 20 cedis. Then we sell to clients. So, and that is our inhibitor that we use. So yes, sure. So we are putting them in 30 per cubicle, and then we will leave them in like that. So these are some of us. Yeah. So we're doing 30 per cubicles, and then we'll put the feeding troughs in there, and when we are good for the day. So that is basically what we are doing today. We are introducing mist or moisture to the snails, and then we saw our feeding trough as well, and then we're able to meet Elizabeth, and that is Aka. Aka is also our able assistant here. So that is what we are doing today. So we looked at pest and disease control as well, how we do our pest and disease control, and then our facility here. So I believe it has been very captivating and innovative, and then you come back every day for more videos. At Trisolace, we provide our clients with an investment they can see and grow for themselves in the form of snails in boxes they can raise. And the beautiful thing about snails is that they do not smell or make noise. So at the end of the day, you are making, headway while still living in someone's house. An investment you can see and grow. That is what we provide you every other day. So you get one of these boxes or two, put them on your veranda or hall or garage, anywhere, and then you start making money from this. Snails are nocturnal, so they eat mostly at night, and that is very good because it keeps you only spend like 5 minutes a day on them. Snails are hermaphrodite, so all of them are going to lay eggs. They are all egg laying, and almost all of them will lay eggs. And then we also look at snails being very little in terms of square or the sizes of them. So let's look at one. So these are 6 months old snails, which are very good for raising. Very healthy, as you can see the color, very healthy. But they try to go into estivation, so they are all the way in, but they are still there. You can see it there, but it has the estivation cover on it. So at Trisolace, we provide you an investment you can see. So if you have one of these boxes and you are taking care of them, we also give you feed, and then you add to it. But we provide free training for individuals, for churches, for any other organization. So if you need us to come and help you or teach you how to raise snails for free, we'll be able to come. We'll be willing and happy to assist you in this venture so that you can all become snail farmers. So that is a wonderful parade of snails, and they are saluting all our investors. We say an investment you can grow for yourself, an investment for the future, whilst using recyclable materials. This is a prototype of our box. So these are the ones we are going to roll out next. Sell to clients. Car tires recycled. So this is an old car tire that we recycled. We changed it into this, and this is old metal, but they are all galvanized and anti-rust coated, so they do not rust. And then we coat it with our patented solution, so that when the snails want to eat the car tire, they cannot have access to the car tire. And that is basically it. We also looked at our feed, and then that was one of the most important things that we looked at, our feed formulation. So we have carbohydrate, protein, and other ingredients in here, and inhibitors mostly call the snails to feed, like you when you smell the aroma of chicken or vegetables or any other thing. So that is it. So invest in the future. You can see, invest in Trisolace, invest in snails. because they pay huge dividends. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day. Do subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos. We'll be giving you updates on everything that we do on the farm. This is a research facility. We have the bigger one that we'll be going to very soon, and we are partnering with MOFA, Ministry of Food and Agri, to give people the ones we call the greenhouse or the green tent approach. So these are our trusty farm hands, and together we say thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye. Have a wonderful day. Bye.